guys, how are you? Welcome to Lunchtime Happiness with Kathy. And I know this is completely out of the blue, but Heidi was not able to join us on Saturday, so I asked her to come today. I'll wait until a couple of you get in your seats and join us. Hey, who's here? I've got 3 of you in your chairs. I've got 3 of you. Let's take a look. Hey, Joanne. Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. Thank goodness with Facebook having photos, right? I love it, love it, love it. Hey, Jackie, how you doing? Hope you've had a great day. Yeah, oh, you're new. Jackie, is this your first time? Oh my goodness gracious. Well, welcome. We do this once in a while, very random. Hey, Cheryl. And then on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern time, come back because we do Coffee with Kathy and we kind of just go all over the place. Yeah, but I wanted just to take a few minutes today because I've got there was some great conversation. Oh, Heidi's here. Okay, let me see if I can bring her in. Oh, I invited you. Let's see if she's connected.
Hi, Kathy.
Hey.
How are you?
Yes. How are you?
Good to see you.
Oh my gosh. Look at you. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I tried a new lip color. So I know we were talking about layering a lip color.
Yeah.
I did sangria.
Right.
And then I did a little bit of the strobe stick. And then I decided, you know what? I'm going with a gloss instead. So I did red hot on top of sangria.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
That is
love
beautiful.
It's Christmassy.
You know what? It is Christmassy. And, while everybody is getting into their seats, we're going to talk a little bit about doing your Facebook Lives and looking Christmassy, because I think now's the time to do it. But while we're waiting for everybody to get in your seat, I want you guys to listen to what I'm going to ask, because there is a method to my madness. The last time I did a live call with you guys, what I did is I asked you a question about stuffing versus dressing. And the reason I did that is because as you're waiting for when you do a Facebook Live and you're waiting for everybody to kind of get in their seats, you want to be able to have some engagement, some conversations going on, so they're just not sitting there twiddling their thumbs. It's like when I do a live in-home party, what I do is if I'm not doing a hand spa experience, then what I do is I get everybody in their seats where they're going to do a facial or they're going to do a makeup class or a skincare class. And I start sharing tips. And I actually have 3x5 cards that I keep in Ziploc bags. And I said, this is tip time with Kathy. And so while we're waiting for the host to say, okay, we're ready to get started, I think most of the people are here, everybody I'm expecting is here, I do tip time with Kathy. So while you're doing a Facebook Live, what you guys want to do is start asking some questions. For example, today's question would be, do you select a live tree or an artificial tree? And when do you put it up? Do you put it up before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? So this is something that you guys can, think about having those questions, those either or questions while you're waiting for everybody to get into their seat. So that's just a tip that I learned recently. And I love it because they say don't play with your hair, which I do all the time. They say don't play with your clothes, which I do all the time. So I thought, you know what? I'll just play a guessing game. I'll just do an either or and let you guys do the thing. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and get started. And I want to tell a little bit of a story about Heidi and I before we actually get into our conversation that we had over Thanksgiving. And, one of the things that I want to remind you guys of, and I've said this recently, but I want to say it again, we are paid storytellers. So guys, what I want you to do is I want you to keep that in mind. And every time you touch something, you touch a product, I want you to wrap a story around that product. I don't want you to use, oh my gosh, you'll love this. It makes your lips so soft, etc. That's you. That's about the product itself. It's a kind of a feature, even though it's, your lips are soft. Tell a story. And all of you have stories. And if you don't have a personal story about a product, head to the community group, because those ladies and gentlemen are always telling stories. I mean, just cut and paste and have it ready and say, oh my gosh, I've got a story to tell you about the product I'm about to share. So again, I want you guys to make sure you are storytellers. So I'm going to tell you a story about how Heidi and I got engaged. The engagement took place. So I was traveling to Virginia for a regional training with Heather Miller. And Heidi traveled, her and her entourage, her group, they traveled from Pennsylvania. How many hours was it, Heidi?
It took about 4 hours, I think.
Yeah, so 4 hours. Yeah. So I had never met them before. It was my first time. And of course, you guys know you only have one chance to make a good impression. That's the first chance. Well, of course, I kind of blew it. Because,
you thought you blew it.
Well, I thought I blew it. Yes, I thought I blew it. I recovered, but I recovered just simply by the grace of Heidi and her heart. So anyway, well, she knew my heart. By the time it was finished, she knew my heart. So we were talking about what your party experience, in-home party experience looks like. And I don't know, Heidi, did you volunteer or did I ask the question? How did you come about being so transparent about what you did?
So you were talking about doing themed parties, and what I was trained, or the way that my upline did her shows at the time, was the way her upline did it. And that was by doing hand spas, facials, and foot spas at every party. And so when you were talking about doing a hand spa party, I kept looking at my downline and Priscilla, and I'm like, how does she just do a hand spa? Like, we do all of it. How does she just do one? And so that's the question I was asking was, if I'm doing all of it, how do I tone it down to just one? And
I was so surprised. I had only heard one other time of someone doing all three. And I didn't coin this phrase, but the person I talked to when I first started with Lemongrass Spa, the person I was talking to, she said, Kathy, I feel like it's a 3-ring circus. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember the Barnum and Bailey 3-ring circus. And I remember you're going here and here and here. And there's no focus on one experience. You're just being torn. You personally are being torn among the 3. And no one really gets the proper education, to on the one. So if you're doing hands, how can you say, and you'll love this for the hands, now we're going to go to the feet. So what was interesting is the look on my face.
Yeah.
And Heidi.
It was priceless.
It was priceless.
It was amazing.
And I mean, I was so shocked that I blurted out before I even thought about it, because Heidi Glick was in the room with me. It was one of the few times she traveled with me. And I looked over her and I said, hey, Heidi, could you put your hands over your ears? And then I went back to Heidi Glick and I'm like, are you kidding me? What are you doing? And honestly, I did not know her at all. And she just took it. I mean, she was so, I don't know. I look back now and we talk about it a lot.
Lord, yeah. It was funny because Kathy, like, no joke, she was like, everybody, cover your ears. I'm about to talk to Heidi. And I'm like, oh my word, what did I just do? Because I didn't know you. But yes, right? Sandra was there. But no, it was funny because that moment I realized that I could either say, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm good. I know how to do my shows. Like, I felt at the time like my shows were pretty organized and that I had found a system that works for me, because I thought this is how you do a lemongrass spa party. I had no idea that people are not doing all 3. And so I felt like I was doing what was expected of me as a consultant. I didn't realize that I was doing it the hard way. So I kind of had to make a choice at that regional training to either be like, okay, I'm going to embrace what she's teaching, or I'm good, I'm organized enough as it is. But I realized that if I come all this way to go to a regional training and I go home just doing it just as I was, then I really haven't learned anything. So I decided to give it a shot. And I am so grateful I did. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
Well, and then
It's been
share, and yes, so we kind of transform the time you're away from your family, and the amount of bookings you get, and the amount of sales, and the fact that we're the recruiters showing up. Where are the recruits? Well, the recruits are in the room. There are tons of people sitting there that are looking at us saying, I could do what she does. But if you overinflate the experience as far as the products you bring and the amount of time that you're spending on too many different things, it's not duplicatable for someone that has a baseline level where she's never done direct sales before. And
yeah.
even if she's never done hand spas, she's never done foot spas. So that's, that's kind of where I'm coming from. I mean, and I came from Pampered Chef, where we did 3 recipes, we did 2 recipes, and then before I left the last 5 years, we just did 1 recipe. And it was amazing how many recruits, how many bookings, I allowed the friends of my host to be able to be with her versus me monopolizing all their time with me,
Yeah.
And I had teachable moments too. So the other thing I want you to share with them, Heidi, is the no buy event, because that was really something that I had introduced to Lemongrass Spa, to the field, and I think it's really taken off for a lot of individuals. Why don't you just share a little bit about your no buy event after you left that regional training?
Yeah. So after we left, when was that regional training? I don't even know.
Gosh, it was in the
well, anyway, it was before we moved to South Carolina, and my husband and I moved to South Carolina so that he could join a ministry team here going into prisons. And so we knew at that point that we're not going to have any income unless I pick up some income and unless we get support through family and friends. And so our church supports us, and other than that, it's Lemongrass Spa. So we have been super, super blessed with that. But my fear was, how do I bring a business from Pennsylvania to South Carolina, only knowing about 5 people? And so I needed to find a way to introduce them to Lemongrass Spa in a way that I wasn't coming into town and being the salesperson, but that I could also make friends. Because first and foremost, I also need friends. I don't just need business and customers to just keep me busy. I also need a personal life. So I decided I had listened to one of your trainings, I think maybe on Coffee with Kathy or something, with no buy events. And it intrigued me because of our move. And so I decided I'm going to do a foot soak, because at the time that was my favorite thing to do at parties, which I know yours is facials or hand spas. Mine was foot spas. I just loved sitting down and getting my feet done. So I decided I'm going to sit down with them, and I had all kinds of little things that strategically gave them points. The amount of points was just, they didn't know they were making a choice at the time. So I did like different colors and name tags. Depending on your color, they would get a different point, like between 1 and 5 points. So all night we were earning points. We did a truth, 2 truths and a lie. So we went around the circle. So if you did your question and I did your answer and I got it right, I got 5 points. And then we kept going around till everyone had done it. And then I had done food. And I set up my display similar to what the Spa Spectacular was at Heather Miller's regional training. It wasn't nearly as big, but I started at page 1 of my catalog, and I put out all the products in order of their catalog, so that if they were going through the catalog and I couldn't be with that person at the time, that they could still find basically where things were. And honestly, it was such a fun evening. I had a whole big display of like host packets and join packets. I had a door prize for everybody. I just ordered like the 125 samples, and I had like 10 of each, because I knew that I wanted to do some samples to give away anyway. So I got the little paper sacks, and I gave each person a sack And I told them to just go choose 3 samples. That the reason I invited them out today is because I wanted to show them what I do, but I also wanted to get to know them better.
Yeah.
And then I sat down with them, had a foot spa with them. It was as if I was one of the guests. And I think to me that was key, is that I'm not standing there selling them something.
Right.
And I told them straight up before they came, when I was doing the inviting, I said, listen, I am a lemongrass spa consultant, and I really want to just introduce my friends to it. I would love if you would invite your friends and just come and have a good time. And so that's what they did. And my realtor had 3 friends show up over the course of 2 mystery hostess shows that I'm sorry, not mystery hostess, no buy events. I did 2. And over the course of those 2, I had 3 of my realtors friends show up, as well as her. And then everyone that I just kind of met along the way. And, yeah. And since then I've been in touch with almost everyone that's been at my been at my no buy events, just as friends. And some of them have become really good customers of mine. I had 6 bookings. Now, not all of them held their bookings, but I had probably 4 out of the 6 hold their bookings, and I'm getting a lot of reorders from it. So I think giving back into your business is one of the biggest things that I took off of what you're training us, Kathy, is just being okay with investing in your business. It might seem like way too much expense, way too much stuff to keep track of and so forth. But if you do one no buy event, and forget about all the other fancy things that Kathy's teaching for parties, start with a no buy event. And then when you do your no buy event, have your hostess packets that Kathy's teaching about, the fun ones, have those specifically for your no buy events. Even if you can't maybe afford to do enough for all of your parties, have at least enough there for your no buy event. That'll create a really nice display, and it'll create this like special feeling for them as well. So that's how I did it, because I just didn't have the money to invest in all kinds of fancy envelopes and bags for my hostesses. So I started with a no buy event, and it went from there.
Yeah, and one of the things that I took away from working with you on is you wanted to create a community of new friends and allow them the choice. And there's the word, guys, you're giving them the choice. It's always a no unless you ask. So you give them the choice to take the information that they're experiencing, or to take the experience they're having, and they get to decide what to do with it. They can either book, they can join, they can buy, but the more important thing is how you create that invitation and that time when you set up that no buy event. And guys, I always recommend that you do it every time a new catalog changes. I think you should be doing it between Christmas and New Year's, when everybody's like relaxed a little bit more. They're putting Christmas decorations away. They're finished with their family. Just, have something at your house where you just say, we're going to have a, girlfriend, facial. And you do have to call it a theme. Whether you call it, you can say a no buying event, we're going to do facials. It's a no buying event, we're going to do foot spas. It's a no buying event. Tell them what they're going to experience, because I think that's what drives people. I mean, who wouldn't want to have a facial, right? And you're going to create it at your home. And notice that Heidi did mention 2 of them, because I think it's important that the message you send when you create a date is, instead of saying, oh, too bad, I'm sorry you're not able to make it, that's the date, you say, no worries at all. I know there are several of you that I really want to make sure that you're going to be able to allow me to love on you. So here's a second date, and I hope this date works. And they hear you thought about them with that second date. So if they want to come, they will come with that second date. I love the fact that you sat with them. One of the things that I started to do, and I never did it with Pampered Chef because, of course, we have food, we have, stations, etc. However, I think it's really a great idea when you're doing a skincare class, or you're bringing everybody back to assemble into, you know, a seated area, or even at your facials where you say, okay, now we're finished the facials. Let's talk about some of the things you might want to experience with your friends, scooting a chair up and sitting at that table. All of a sudden you're one of them. Instead of, if you're going to do a booking commercial or a recruiting commercial, try to sit down, because I got a visual when you said that, Heidi. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, that's really when we should be delivering that closing, where, okay, ladies, now we're finished up. Let's talk about what's next. You grab a chair, you sit down and say, I'll offer a full service checkout. I've got this and this. You talk about that closing as you're sitting down with everybody, because then you're all peers. You're no longer the instructor. You have to be an instructor during the time, and then you give those teachable moments, but now you want them, you're closing the sale and opening the relationship by sitting down with them. So I love that. What do you think about that?
I am a fan of being one of the group. Instead of, like you said, we do need to teach. We do need to get up and do a presentation. But after that presentation is done, what they really want is someone that they can trust and someone that feels like is approachable. And if you stand behind a table and you have your arms folded or you're clasping your hand, like, I'm just saying, like, some of the things that I struggle with is like being able to really listen sometimes is a struggle for me. And so what I'm trying to do is work on my body language as well as the way I present my business or myself. And especially at parties, if there's a bar stool there, if you feel like you need to stand, but you know that, you know, maybe you should be sitting, a bar stool is the perfect thing. You know, like, I'm going to Georgia on Saturday, and I'm going to throw one of my bar stools in the car, because it's not going to be at someone's house, and I want to be able to sit if I want to, or when I feel it's the right time. So I'm definitely a huge fan of being one of the circle, because it does create this feeling of, you know, when you're talking to a friend about the skincare that you got, or you're talking about skin issues or whatever, you're not standing up when you're talking and she's sitting down, or vice versa. But when you're most comfortable is when you're on a friend's couch and just, you know, talking in general. And if we can kind of create that feeling or that atmosphere in our parties, I think it will go really far.
I do too. And I'd like you guys to think about using this in 2018. The month of December, I'm going to be really spending a lot of time with you guys, redoing your show experiences, both virtually and in home. And that's one of the things I've got a note here, is we're going to make it look a little different that way, because I think when you can look in somebody's eyes, that's huge. You look into their heart, their soul, and it's making that connection. And I think we listen better when we have that eye contact. The last thing I'm going to share based on what Heidi said, and then we'll go into the conversation she and I had over Thanksgiving, is one of the things I'm going to encourage you guys to do over the next month leading up to 2018, when we do some training, is I want you to look for fun, different looking host and join packets, because you want to be able to have them accessible on a coffee table when you arrive and you set up. Of course, you set up your full service checkout with your calendar, etc., and stacks of catalog kits, etc. But you also want to be able to have host kits and join kits, and I call them kits, and you want to have them there where you can reference, by the way, there's 3 green and there's 3 red, the green is this, the red, because if somebody is going to slip out before placing an order, she may want to take one of those too with her, and then of course circle back and say, I took it. So make it easy for them where they don't have to be with you at a full service checkout, simply to take a host kit or a join kit. And we'll talk about what those are going to look like, because I think we really need to keep them simplified again for that recruiter that's in the audience. She's watching you saying, oh my gosh, I love what she did, right? And you can circle back and reference what you did. Say, do you remember I had them on the coffee table? And that new team member is saying, I do remember that. Oh my gosh, I love that. So again, remember, everything you do, you're intentionally setting the stage, the script for that person that's your understudy. Think about her as an understudy. She's your understudy. Everything you do, she needs to do. And if you're making a paycheck, guys, you should be wanting her to make a paycheck too. So anyway, all right. So let's go ahead, Heidi, and why don't we talk about the fashion show? I love that.
Yeah. Yes, I am so excited. And I actually just talked to Christy again today, the LuLaRoe consultant. And she is so excited about possibly doing a Zoom with all of us. So I am just, I'm thrilled. So talking about a no-buy event, I was at an event. This was not supposed to be a no-buy event. It was supposed to be a cash and carry event. We had 4 guests show up, and all of the consultants in the area seem to be having a really dry time at events. Even the ones that aren't part of our group, but the ones that they've been working with or that we've all been working with seem to all be going through this kind of dry time here in our area. And so we started brainstorming. There were 4 of us left, and we just started talking about how difficult it can be to run a business when it seems to be a dry time in the area. And where it seems it's just not a good time for anyone to go out. People say they're coming and then they don't show up. We had all kinds of that going on, and it was just so frustrating for all of us because we had spent some time and money on this event. We kept it really simple. We just did drinks and cookies, so we all just brought a little something, so it wasn't that expensive. But just the time, being away from family, you want to make sure that your events are successful. So we started talking, and I introduced them to the thought of maybe doing a no-buy event. And I had previously talked to Christy, a LuLaRoe consultant that I work with, and I had told her about my no-buy event that I had done, and she was floored. She was so excited, and she was just like so intrigued because she had never heard that concept or heard it taught that you should do something that makes your guests feel comfortable and makes them want to interact with you more. And so I introduced it to the group the other night, and Christy went on. She was like, yes, this is what I was telling you guys about. She had done this event. Like, this is the one. And so she had me kind of go through what I had done. So as we were brainstorming, we thought, well, why wouldn't we do a no-buy event, but as a collective group of consultants? So we have Unique Makeup, we have Shakeology, which has a nutrition plan for a family, and they also have a meal plan. If you sign up with them, you get a meal plan for a month for free, or for every month that you're signed up, whatever. And so she's going to be doing food for this event off of their meal plan. And LuLaRoe is going to be doing the fashion side of things. I'm going to be doing facials on all of the models. Unique Makeup is also a part of our group, so we wanted to make sure that both I and Unique Makeup have an opportunity to showcase our products. So I'm going to be doing the prep work on their skin, and then she's going to come along and do all their makeup. And then we're going to do little grab bags. Everyone that comes will get a bag, like you said, of all the information, different products we used. I want to come out with a showcase of the products that I used on their skin, and do one brochure, and maybe like tucked in the catalog in the facials page, maybe circle the ones that I used or something like that. So it's still at the very beginning stages, but our name for it will be New Year, New You. And we're going to be doing it in January sometime. And we're going to pose it as a no-buy event. There's a $5 cover charge, maybe. We're still, like I said, at the very beginning stages of making this happen. But it sounds like it's definitely something that the 4 of us want to pursue. And we also want to get a budding photographer in the area to be there and do photographs. And I would love to come up with some kind of fashion photo booth that we could do and do hashtags and all of that. And I'm actually going to do a photo booth at my Christmas event in Georgia.
Awesome.
I ordered a bunch of little sticks, with the eyeglasses and the hat.
Yeah.
And then I do need your help coming up with a hashtag and a way for them to kind of advertise with those photos. But that's another conversation. I think it sounds like a lot of fun to me. And the fact that there's going to be food and we're going to make it very exclusive.
Right.
you know, it's everyone that comes is going to get coupons and just like a fun night out. So we're really excited.
Well, and now, and you know, a couple things is make sure you have it look like you're selling tickets for it. So people feel a level of importance where they're buying a ticket for, you know, their to save their seat. And, you know, you could stream live, you know, and just little clips here and there. Each person could stream from their Facebook. Each consultant could stream for about 10 minutes when it's their time. And then I remember what the mic thing was. Remember, I kept telling you I did not moment at the mic. The moment at the mic is at the end, where at the end of the event, each consultant is going to come up and take the mic, introduce herself, and have them, if they have their grab bags at that time, go into the grab bag and pull out say this is what's in your grab bag, pull it out. And as they pull it out, that consultant's she's going to sell it, if you will, at that time. And then the other thing I got to thinking about for you is I would take the catalog and I would, as you're working with them, have them open to the page of the catalog with the skincare and actually write notes on these 2 pages of the catalog so they can take.
You're talking about the models?
When you do their facials, and they can keep this as their journal, as their diary of what, you know, you use for them, because you're going to have that time with each of them before Unique gets there with their face color. So yeah, I would say, you know, no, I'm going to personalize this for you. So here's the catalog, start writing notes, and then you could write notes in your own handwriting and then give them the coupon.
What do you think about going live on their personal page while I'm doing that?
That's, if they want you to do it, that would be great. But I don't know if I do every single, if they want you to do it, absolutely. Maybe a short clip where they're just getting ready and you're just showing a short clip about how to wash their face or something versus the whole facial. But again, that's up to you. We can talk about that a little bit as it gets closer when you have your slice of time. But I love, guys, for those of you listening to this and live with us, I love the fact that Heidi has gotten this community of other direct sales consultants. You don't, guys, you don't have to like their product line. You just have to love the fact they're feeding their family based on the company that was formed as a direct sales model, and they've chosen that product line. I mean, embrace what they're doing because they're doing the same thing we're doing. They're feeding their family. They're making a difference financially in their lives, whether it's clean products or not so clean products, it doesn't matter. You're supporting each other as kindred spirits for sure. Yeah.
And I think for me, it was very intimidating to think of working with a Unique makeup consultant because I felt like we have similar product lines as far as we both have facial care and makeup.
Right.
But what it all comes down to is that's the group I was invited to join. I don't want to be the consultant that says, well, I can't work with her because we both have the same product line. No. So I think for me, it's so important because our town is so small and we are going to be seeing each other's customers and hostesses even maybe both having parties for the same people. And so when I was talking to Christy, the Lula consultant, she's the head of our group. And so she's the one that I get to talk with the most. And just today actually was her birthday. So I stopped by with something she had ordered and just sat down and chatted with her a little bit about some of the details of just another little brainstorming session. And she said, I shared with her that, you know, it's a bit challenging for me sometimes to interact with another consultant that sells a similar product line because sometimes it can be a little bit intimidating. They have something that is just everyone raves about, or like, I don't know. It's just that kind of, it can be so uneasy when you're at events right beside them.
Right.
And so the little things that we're doing to help kind of respect each other is she brings makeup. I bring skincare. Right. A Young Living consultant brings oils. Yeah. I don't come with skincare, oils, and makeup. We kind of learn to, you know, it's no problem to ask if you're invited to a group. Ask, is there an oils consultant there? Because if there isn't, I'd like to bring some essential oils. Is there a makeup consultant there? If there isn't, I would like to bring, because you're being invited to join them and you don't want to be the person that comes in with all her new products and is like, oh no, this is much better than yours or whatever. Because like Kathy said, we're all trying to feed our families. So I love the idea of Unique doing the makeup. She is very, very talented at doing makeup. And so the fact that I can do skincare and the fact that we all have our moment at the mic and all of that, I'm just really excited. And we all know consultants that we can work with. I mean, I'm sure you've heard of Lula Consultant. I'm sure you've heard of even Agnes and Dora or Honey and Lace. There's so many clothing companies out there with direct sales or, some kind of salesy part that you can work with. And if you invite someone in your area or even a friend of yours or family member, that would help you just throw a little fashion show. We're doing a photographer that's up and coming. We want to work with a hairdresser that wants to get her name out. So this is going to be just a collaboration of women in the community that really want to just put their business out there and kind of show what we can do. And so those are the people that we're looking for, is just people that want to make their business better and are talented at what they do.
Well, because you're not exchanging cash, you probably will have no problem at all getting like a church to give you their fellowship hall. And you could even do it as a ministry to young moms at the church, young moms that are, unwed, or young moms that are just, starting out with babies, or, just frazzled and they just need this pampering time. I mean, there's so many different categories in a church that you could love on the church and offer it for them by having it in their event. So,
we discussed having a babysitter, like having a few younger girls from the community come out in exchange for product or something. But I think we're just going to let that go because we feel like the people that are going to make a point of coming are the people that pay their $5. And if they want to come, they'll get a babysitter. That's not usually a problem. I mean, there's all neighbor, friends, family. Granted, there are some people that do have, a bigger issue getting a babysitter, and that's, we don't want to exclude them either, but we are going to be asking that they do get babysitters and that they just come prepared to relax and just have a ton of fun.
I agree. I think it has to be for $5. It's a girl's day. I mean, where can you go for $5? Have a fashion show, have food, even bring your teenage daughter with you. I mean, it's just, what a blessing. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, we are beyond excited. As I said, it's still in the very beginning stages, but the fact that it's there and that we're talking about doing one is just getting me excited. And my no-buy event in Georgia that I'm doing is 5.5 hours, and that was a little bit overwhelming for me. But once this fashion show thing came up, I also got ideas for Georgia and what I could do there and how I could make it easier on myself. So I am just excited to see what December and January will bring for my business and see where it will take me in the area.
Well, we did talk about your long distance show, about really being a little more intentional with your host or someone that she knows that might want to join. I really want you guys to keep in mind that between 70-80% of consultants in direct sales companies came through first as hosting. So when Heidi and I talked about the travel time that she's going to be spending going to Georgia, she's not going to want to go back and do those parties. And yet there are going to be people that want parties. So I said, set yourself up with a conversation where you set aside some time, and you don't, you casually mention it to your host to see if she might be interested, but then you set up some phone time and you really talk to her about watching you while you're there. Here's the day in the life of Heidi as a lemongrass spa consultant. Could she see herself doing something like this, even trying it just for 30 days, using the bookings that she's gotten from the party that Heidi's going to do?
Yeah. I'm very excited. I did hear back from a hostess today that had really been interested.
I'm waiting for Heidi. I re-invited her, so I think she dropped off. I don't know why she dropped off. Let's see if she can come back. I'm excited to see whether what she, oh, she is gone. I know. She is gone. Let's see if we can get her back. Hold on a second. Um, Let me see. Oh, bless her heart. I don't know why she, oh. Okay, well, Heidi, I lost you, girl. You'll have to share with us um, what the outcome was. What she was going to share is her host in Georgia. If she's going to be interested in joining her, I think again it's a great opportunity. Use find some connector, some link, if you will, when you're talking to a host to with the understanding that so many hosts come into our consultants come into our business as a host. Use that opportunity to link something that can bridge the conversation between you and that host. And oh, good, she wants to join the broadcast. Okay, let's see if she's coming. Good, I'm inviting her. Let's see if she comes back. Here we go.
Hey, okay. I am so
That's
sorry.
Okay. That's all right. We waited for you.
Wow.
Yeah. So you were talking about that host in Georgia, or that host. You were talking about that host.
So I had my hostesses in Georgia started with a request from home office for someone that wanted to do a show, but she was 5.5 hours away. And so I suggested starting with a Facebook party, and that I would possibly be able to sometime come to the area when we're on our way to Florida or, as we travel. And so that's how it all got started. And since then I had 2 other very successful Facebook parties where I had lots of interaction. It seems like their parties, people love the interaction, and it's a lot of people from their area. And so I felt like I really wanted to just go and make a day trip of it. And so I'm heading down Friday afternoon. I'm going to set up Friday night and have the event Saturday morning. And the event is in the upstairs of someone's barn. It's a finished area. They're not charging me for it. I feel so blessed. Actually, all 3 of my hostesses offered either their home. The one offered the barn, and the one offered her fellowship hall. And all 3 of them offered me a place to stay.
Oh my!
So
goodness.
I just honestly, I just feel so blessed to be able to work with these women. So the one had been very interested in booking or in joining my team. And just this morning, I got a private message from her saying that she is not going to join at this time.
Okay.
So it was a little bit disappointing because I knew that she's really thinking about it.
Right.
But at the same time, I really want people to join my team that want to be on it.
Right.
And so I thought, I know that we can have this open dialogue about it in the future. She's been a repeat customer. And I know that her daughters love the makeup. They love the product, and they are all going to be there at the event. And so I'm just going to let it go and just, keep putting little seeds out there for her, little things for her to think about, but still maintaining that friendship. So I think for her, it's a not now, I think. But I could definitely see one of her daughters or herself sign in the future. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, and Heidi, and for everybody else listening, I always, when my host would say in the beginning, when I'd say to her, and it was really the only phone call I would make to a host, is I'd say, listen, when you get your host kit or when you get it open, let's just have a real quick 10-minute chat. I just want to tell you some things that are going on with Lemongrass Spa that you might be interested in. And the thing that was going on with Lemongrass Spa is, now that you're a host, you can use your cash towards your kit. These are your friends. What do you think? Can you at least, would you like to at least consider trying this for 30 days? Trying direct sales and joining Lemongrass Spa. So if she said no, what I would always do, Heidi, at the end of the evening, I would sit there and I'd say, okay, I know we haven't talked about it. I know your decision was a no. I just want to make sure after this evening, and I would bring up the things that she had experienced personally. I wouldn't just, I'd say, remember when your friend said this, I just think you would be perfect at supporting her. So I just want to give you a couple more days to think about it. And if it's a no, absolutely it's a no. However, you know, it's something that we should revisit, don't you think? So again, it's a gentle way of bringing her back into the moment of the decision, because she's now immersed into an experience that only happens with direct sales when women are selling and sharing with women and men too. But I mean, this is so different than any other type of experience, and they forget, or maybe they've never experienced it. So taking her where she is that evening and opening her world up for her to just take another look, or a different look, really. Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about the door opening, you know, to just even more customers there. If not a consultant at the time, I think it's still worth it for me, because I know I really have their hearts right now. They love the fact that I'm willing to come down there. They just feel so honored, and they're just falling over themselves trying to do things. They all offered to bring food, and I was like, no, absolutely not. I was like, you're not bringing food. This is your day. Because I'm calling it a customer hostess appreciation day. And I'm not playing this as a no-buy event, but I'm kind of using that concept of doing a door prize for everyone, just a little sample size. I'm doing a grand prize. I'm doing a prize for someone who joins, and a prize for bookings as well. So everyone that books a date, there will be, you know, a prize for that. And we're doing a mystery hostess party.
Awesome.
And so every order will go towards this one big pot. And then we'll draw a name, and whoever, you know, whoever's name we draw gets all the hostess credits. And so I'm super excited about that, because I know it'll just be a fun time.
Well, and you know, something else to wrap this up, because I think that's all we had in our notes. There's a couple other things I'm going to share on Saturday, but to wrap this up, when you guys are hearing mystery host, yes, you can choose a host name, but what you might want to think about doing is have everybody submit the name of their favorite charity, and you pick a charity name, because that gives people a reason to buy, because they know that after all the orders are in, their charity could be selected. And listen, it doesn't have to be an organization. It can be a family that they want to love on and give that cash towards that family.
So would you keep the benefits for the hostess then, and then you would give them
I would give them the 25%, your entire commission, because you do.
Because I already played it as a mystery hostess.
I didn't mean this, because you're too close to.
But I'm kind of thinking, though, I could still do whoever wins the hostess credits. If our party is between, you know, 1 and 500, I'll give $50 to your favorite charity.
There we go.
If it's between 500 and 1,000, I'll do $100. If it's over 1,000, I'll do $200 or something like that.
These are just ways to get a different mindset at this time of year, knowing that there's so many needs out there. On Saturday, we're going to actually talk about the Build a Basket. We're going to talk about that on Saturday. And I know we talked about that. Instead of Build a Bear, we're going to be talking about Build a Basket. And that's a fundraiser. And then my friends over at Pampered Chef are doing blessing bags. And this is something I absolutely feel like we should be part of, is a blessing bag. And I'll talk about that on Saturday also. The other thing, because we'll talk about this more on Saturday, but, you know, Heidi came on with this beautiful red lipstick, and she said it's very holiday-ish. I want you guys, as you're out and about shopping for groceries and whatever like that, head to the dollar section, the cheapo section, the real cheapo section if you're at a dollar store, and buy some fun things. So when you do your 12 days of Christmas, you are decorated for Christmas, whether it's a cute reindeer antlers or red lipstick, but point out why you got on you, why you have it on. Don't just, wear it and not say anything. Just say, I don't know if you noticed, I never wear red lipstick. This is what I got.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I've got my little snowflake earrings on today.
I love that.
Yeah. So again, make sure you call attention to it. It's like when I give a gift to someone, I always say, open it up because I want to tell you about it. And then I add my commercial to the gift that I gave them. So again, don't assume that people are aware of why you did what you did. So anyway,
I love that.
Yeah.
I want to show you real quick.
Sure.
My office is so messy, so hopefully you don't see this. This is what I'm doing for my hostesses. It says, "Hello, gorgeous." And then in it, I'm doing a little Christmas tree. And a soap bar.
Oh.
So I'm doing the cranberry, and then I'm getting some cellophane, and I have some little gemstones coming, some fake gems. All that is still coming, but yeah, I'm so excited about my event. So yeah, as you can see, let me see if I can switch my camera. My living room is a hot mess.
It's staged. Your living room is the staged warehouse.
Yes, I actually, yesterday, one thing I did that I actually love and I think may help someone is just kind of eyeing out a portion of your floor that, just kind of drawing a little, almost the size of your table, and just making your display. If you don't have space like I don't have a lot of space to set up tables. And so I just kind of did all of my displays on the floor, and then I'm packing each of my 3 tables that I'm doing, my food table, my hot chocolate bar, and my product table. I just pack them separately then as I was done.
Then you unpack when you get there.
Yeah. So maybe that'll help someone. I don't know.
No, that's a great idea.
Fun.
That could help with vendor events also. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Heidi,
well, thank you so much for having me on. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about your call on Saturday. I'm hoping that I can listen to it while I'm finishing up some last minute details for the event.
Yes.
But I'll definitely have to listen to that one. It sounds very interesting.
Yes, it is. It is definitely all these mind things I've been thinking about, but it's so appropriate for us and the heart of the company and what we always want to achieve, which is, collecting individuals who want to have a different lifestyle, right? Financially and physically. So for sure. Yep.
Jennifer, you're welcome. It was so much fun. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah.
It was just a blast having you all jump on.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate it, guys. I know it was last minute, but Heidi and I had such a great chat over Thanksgiving. And so I said to Heidi, I've got my notes here, and I've got this is a little birthday party I actually attended in Denver, Kimberly Merritt's uncle, and so I had this in my purse, and what better way to use it than to put some love notes from our talk.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate all the time and brainstorming you helped me with.
Anything,
awesome.
Listen, anything for you. Anything for you.
Oh, thank you.
You know that. Yep, you know that. Yeah. All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Great rest of your day. Enjoy the day. Today is 72 degrees here in North Carolina, so
it's gorgeous.
I know it is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Heidi.
All right.
Love you,
Bye.
girl. All right. Bye-bye.
Love you too.